Well, our denouement of the afternoon, our final featured writer, John Bucchino, the first, yes. Well, let me tell you something. The first time I saw him was at a beautiful club down on 10th Street called 88's. Remember 88's? Yeah. And time stood still, as it sometimes does when you see something so wonderful. And let me tell you, I had to go home and practice. And I've been practicing ever since. The beautiful part of the story is that I love him and he's my friend. And what we do in this part of the show is talk for a little while before he presents some songs. So come on out, John Bucchino. John, yes. You've done so many things over the years.
Well, so have you.
Well, but
I'm sure you have too.
Well, so
we all do. When you get old enough, you've done a lot of things.
That's a good point.
It is.
But traveling the world, Broadway show, records, Liza
so
Minnelli
weird. Broadway show, that was bizarre.
Patti LuPone
I know.
and Faith Prince and Judy Collins. These are people that have recorded his
with.
songs.
No, that's not. No, not even.
People he slept with.
No.
That's what he just said.
That's
No, I knew you
true.
missed it. He said it. I didn't. So tell me what's feeling great right now musically.
Well, I have a new show, and we're going to do a song from it that was commissioned by a Danish producer. Strange. Don't lose hope. If you're a performer or if you're a writer, things just fall out of the sky. This guy emailed me and said, I'm going to be in New York, and we would like to commission you to write a musical. Of course, the most beautiful word in the English language, commission, for a writer. And so I met with him, and we had a lovely breakfast, and it was a lot of money. So pretty much it could have been anything, and I would have done it because I needed the money. But it turned out to be the most lovely, just creative experience of my life. I'm so excited about it.
I can't wait to hear a song from that.
And
how about this? Travels to Africa, travels to Australia.
A lot of Australia.
How long does it take you to get your sea legs once you're that far away? Can you play right away?
Yeah, I can play pretty much under any circumstances because I've been doing it all my life. And I don't read music, and it's just happens. So it's just like breathing. I don't have to think about that so much.
And he hits the black notes too. I try to stay on the whites because they're easier. He besides writing songs that have singers singing them, he has a record called On Richard Rodgers Piano. And in fact, every song. Tell us about that. How did you get to that? That's a spectacular thing.
Bring that up too, because I played for lots and lots of years. Since I was like 1, I started noodling around on my grandmother's piano. And I just took the playing for granted because it was something that I did in service of my songwriting. And for years people said, oh, you should do a solo piano album. And I was like, oh, no, it's just, what I do. And then I had this idea because I know Richard Rodgers' grandson, who is a wonderful, wonderful genius writer named Adam Gettle. Right? And he has his grandfather's Steinway. And I thought, well, if I were going to do a solo piano album, this is kind of a good gimmick to actually do Rodgers songs, which I grew up playing on Rodgers piano. And it's one of the solo piano stuff is one of the things that I'm moving even more into. I have a new solo piano album of improvs on Beatles songs. It's called Beatles Reimagined. It's not out yet, but
so amazing.
And then what's remarkable is it's just totally improvisatory. I don't know what's going to come out of my fingers until I sit down, and then something just happens. So it feels
it ain't
like
chopsticks.
magic.
It's so elaborate.
Well,
You're such an
It's
elaborate
kind of
player. It's like a mathematical problem that solves itself in a beautiful way when you play.
Well, thank you.
It's unbelievable.
If I get out of the way, if I get this out of the way.
But you're calm as a cucumber.
No.
Do you have a favorite moment or recording that you say, wow, man, I did this? And on the other hand, do you have one that, you phased me, or this really happened to me, and I somehow lived to tell? Because we'd like to hear that.
God, I wish I'd known this question. I would have
I didn't know it either.
Okay, we're just winging it.
I didn't know it either.
I can't think of
What do you love? Who do you love? A version of
Well,
yourself?
the Grateful CD is pretty extraordinary. This is my first CD, and what friends call it my Starfucker CD, basically, because what pardon the language, but it's because I recruited a lot of famous friends to sing songs with me, and like Liza Minnelli and Patti LuBone, and I didn't sleep with any of them. And I don't know, Kristen Chenoweth and Art Garfunkel, and anyway. So I would say that's, because it just means so much to me.
It's a stellar collection. And it's just you playing piano.
Just me playing, but it's one of those sort of pinch me like, what? How did that happen? How? I mean, I grew up listening to Simon and Garfunkel. I grew up, knowing Liza Minnelli, and suddenly these people are singing my songs.
That's very well earned, and lucky them. Lucky them. And also you're a stickler for detail. You if somebody asks you about a word, a lot of us are writers, and to me, sing it in Pig Latin for all I care. Just sing it. But John, you're very particular about every phrase, every note, every word, and my hat's off to you for that.
I'm loosening up a little bit. Not much, but only a little bit.
You demand perfection.
Well, I know what I want to hear, and I know, it's interesting as a performer, and you performers will know this too, that every change you make, if the music is well constructed, things are built into it, like there's a rest here, which means take a breath, not just because you need a breath, but because in terms of acting it, in terms of making the lyric communicate as deeply as the writer intends, take a breath there, because that gives you time to think about or discover what you're going to say now. There are reasons for everything. It is carefully calculated, and when people miss some of those opportunities to communicate it better, it's frustrating. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, from that first moment that I saw you on the stage at 88's,
and when we slept together.
Oh, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. That's our little secret.
Running gag.
That's our little secret. No, but from that first moment to then seeing It's Only Life, to getting your Grateful CD, to seeing A Catered Affair, to hearing your music every chance I get, reading about your travels, it has been an honor to know you and a privilege to know you. And now work your magic for the audience and let them
After
see.
that build-up, all right, I'll do my best.
I love you,
my dear, also are one of my very favorite songwriters and performers as well. It goes both ways. So thank you.
John Bucchino. John Bucchino. Very good.
Well, I'm sorry it's getting so late and these things take quite a while, and I hope you're all right, because they wanted me to do 5 songs. I'll play them really fast, okay? I'll do the best I can. So I wanted to do sort of a diverse group of songs, some that I just wrote because I felt something, which is what I used to do when I started writing, and then some that are one that's from A Catered Affair, the Broadway show that I was bizarrely involved in and delightfully, one from the new Danish musical, and then an instrumental, and you'll see. Anyway, so this one I had just written, when I was writing songs just about my own life, I had just written yet another sad breakup song. Why don't you love me? Kind of thing. And because I wrote a lot of those. And that was sort of and so I think I actually had breakups so that I could write those. In fact, I got to the point where I sort of gauged relationships or defined relationships as, well, that was a 2-songer. Probably not very emotionally healthy, but I got a lot of songs. So I had just written a really sappy, whiny song, and then I was lying in bed, and another, I think, far healthier emotion swept over me: rage. my bedside table is a note from Stephen Sondheim and a pair of wire glasses and the lyric to a new song which I'll never play for you because it's far too sentimental, and I don't want you to think I care enough to write a mushy love song now that you and I are really through. Oh, by the way, 2 bills are also there. One for the cable, which has really kept me sane throughout our breakup. Damn, I swore I wouldn't dwell upon our breakup. Well, the other is my visa bill, a little heavier with all the junk I bought to kill the pain, to fill the space until I face the fact that you and I are definitely through. There's my talking clock now set to get me off to work the new job you don't know I got. It's not impressive, it won't make you think I'm doing well without you. Actually, I'm not so hot, I can barely hack it. And there are those earplugs I still wear to help sleep tightly through the nightly New York racket. Did you find one recently? Did it make you think of me and cry so hard you couldn't see? I hope so, but it really shouldn't matter. I also fondly hope you're growing fatter. There's a lamp that never makes me think of you. We didn't shop for it together, and you never put the lampshade on your head. It's by the bed so I can see to fill my journal with 3 gazillion reasons why we're better off apart. Or rather, why I'm better off without you. You, of course, have lost the greatest catch you'll ever have, and you will realize how much you care and languish in complete despair until your dying day, which won't be soon because you're so damned healthy with your veggie diet and your yoga that I tried that time I had that awful cold. It nearly killed me, but I did it to impress you, since I never did believe that you could love me just for me. On my bedside table, there are 3 stones which I'm told have healing energy. They say you have to touch them all the time or they'll disintegrate. I feel like I'll disintegrate if someone doesn't touch me soon. But there were years before I met you, and I have my note from Sondheim, and my cable, and my visa, and my talking clock and earplugs, and my healing stones and journal to unwind me and remind me that I always have myself, and that I always have the lyric to a new song, and a lamp that never makes me think of you. Thank you.